I got a sneak peek about an hour ago of this man warming up here, and he was standing about where he is now to return serve. That's where he was practicing his returns from.
Try and buy as much time as he can to get a racket on this heavy and spinning serve that Shelton can deliver. He really does get nice width on that wide serve. And then he can also hit the 140 flat right up the middle. So the amount of court that you have to cover when you're also standing that deep is immense. And Buse comes in around 6 feet tall. So his wingspan not quite as wide as this guy's.
Working hard on that north-south movement, haven't they, for Ben this season? Something that Brian has been trying to implement.
Game Shelton.
That's a pretty good start. We talk about servers, Jim. Is he got the most amount of movement of any player in the men's game off that serve right now, would you say?
If he doesn't, he's certainly in the discussion. He really does use his leftiness extremely well in both sides. He uses the wide serve, not just in the ad side, which is a traditional lefty favorite to swing the right-hander out into their backhand side, but he also has that off serve in the deuce, the kick serve that spreads the court and gives him so much real estate to work with his +1 shot, the shot right after the serve. Who else would you have in that discussion as far as servers with a lot of movement? Is Jack Draper in that discussion?
Absolutely. I would have Adrian Mannarino in there.
Oh, yes,
that's a rough one, but not necessarily a guy that's going to be winning majors. But I tell you what, his serve from the ad side was rough.
I would probably put Mote in there with all the underarm serves he throws as well.
That's a good shout. There's a few of those nasty southpaws out there, aren't there?
Both players depositing towels in the towel boxes, unlike some of the
Ignacio
ATP
Buse
events.
to serve.
The ball personnel will not be handling the towels here, so players will have to spend extra time if they want to towel off. Bit of an adjustment after Cincinnati.
Buse's based in Spain. Been there for a couple of years now.
15 love.
As he looked to plot his path to the top of this sport, he relocated to Barcelona. Not alone in that particular decision either. He's got a few famous names in his corner, one in particular. And one that you must have played, Jim, in Albert Costa, I assume.
Absolutely.
15-all.
Just a tremendous player from Spain in his time, and really a very bright tennis mind. Like so many of the Spanish players, they turn into excellent coaches because they just understand how to maximize their abilities and play the highest percentage tennis available.
30-15.
His father taught him the game from a young age, obviously. His father was a coach down at the club in Lima, just outside of Lima, where he grew up.
Oh. 40-15.
Have you been to Peru?
Never. You?
Oh, love it. Yeah, you should go.
Okay.
Yeah, it's some of the best food in the world.
Let
Machu Picchu is put that one on your bucket list. That's a sight everyone, if you're lucky enough, should get to see. Peru is a beautiful country. There's a terrific player named Jaime Zaga who played in the 90s.
Slight issue with the food situation, Jim. My twins eat spaghetti bolognese 6 out of 7 days a week. So that's a slight hindrance possibly for me there.
That could be.
Out. Game, Buse.
But I'll look into it.
I think most hotels will be able to provide that for you, should you
One
go.
game on.
That's good to know.
Yeah, that's a good start from Buse there. The hold to serve to settle into a match of this magnitude, that's important. And we'll get to eavesdrop in the conversations that the Sheltons will have with each other, with Coach Brian mic'd up.
Yeah, Matt Clower, I believe, is also here this week as just helping out a little bit. Matt was working alongside Brian, I believe, at the University of Florida.
Oh. 15 love.
It's the time of the day when Shelton actually will have a little bit of a sun challenge as it moves from east to west. It's up in the lefties' hit zone at the moment. The righties will suffer a little bit more later in the day on that side of the court. Oh.
15 all.
He's fourth in the race right now, is Ben. That's how good his season has been. There's Albert. Roland Garros champion. Was Costa.
$30-15.
Not unusual for Spanish coaches to be fairly consistent in distributing a lot of info, is it?
No.
They like to get the consistent messages down there.
I would think that the message would typically be in this type of scenario, coming from his team, to try and play extended rallies. That's really Buse's calling card as a player who primarily excels on clay, the slower surfaces, good rally tolerance.
Game, Shelton.
So a couple of solid holds.
Shelton leads 2-1.
The American.
Set.
He's up early on here, 2-1. In qualifying, as we mentioned, for this young Peruvian.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Having actually lost in
Ready
the
for
first
play.
round of qualies of the 3 previous majors this year, so breaking new ground after a string of good results this summer. Had a nice run in Gstaad, didn't he? Because he hadn't
15
won at
love.
all level match until he pitched up in Gstaad this year in the Swiss Alps. Made the semi-finals there. Had some good ball, some tight matches as well that week.
And you were covering that tournament, Nick. What did you take away from his run there? What are your sort of big picture thoughts on Ignacio's game?
I thought he played well under pressure, Jim. That was the thing that stood out to me. On the real pressure moments, served really well. I thought he played big tennis when he needed to play big tennis. There weren't many holes, just from what I saw in that limited 3 or 4 matches that I saw that week. Looked very secure off both sides, wasn't afraid to come forwards. came away from that week thinking there was plenty to like about this young man.
There he is coming forward.
Game.
That was a comfortable hole to serve for the 21-year-old who's 6 foot tall. They list him at about 170 pounds. I might take the under on that. He's a lightweight, certainly, compared to Ben Shelton's brawn, but not matching him in the speed department on serve, but so far so good in the success.
Yeah, usopen.org. If you haven't been there already, do head in that direction. You can download the app as well. That's important to follow all the action this week. Stay across all the live scores, the draws, the interviews. They're coming your way. What's the word on the street on the speed of the court, Jim, this year?
Quick. It is maybe not quite as quick as Cincinnati's, but I think some of that also might be in part due to the conditions being cooler here, and that slows the ball down, as you know, Nick. So the court definitely, the speed is fast, though, just as it was last year. I think it's intended to be the same as it was last year, which are the medium fast speeds that they're targeting. I think that's good for the Americans, and they've tailored the surface by and large to what they think can best aid the home team.
15-all.
Well, there's 23 of them that are starting, so there's certainly a good number this year. 23 men in the draw. That's the most since 1995 here. Just 2 points lost on serve so far for Ben Shelton. Second youngest member of the top 10 right now, behind Alcaraz. Trinity Rodman, I believe, in the house.
It's Ben's better half.
He actually played last night, didn't she, Trinity? Over in San Francisco, I believe. Just plays for Washington. Big crowd, I was reading that. Over 40,000 in attendance for that one.
Game, Shelton.
So 5 holds, but you already get an indication that this young Peruvian is...
Go to work here. Try and get into a return game for the first time.
Interesting improvements on return, Jim. I know you're all over these things usually, but we were looking at the numbers in Toronto, weren't we? And there was a pretty big spike in terms of the returns made, up about 5% that week in Canada. Returns blocked, as you mentioned, were up about 7% in Canada that week on a quick court. So those elements to his return game, obviously allowing him more opportunities to get in the rally, presumably.
Exactly right. And then to do some damage with his forehand, which is becoming more and more of a weapon, even though he missed the gimme on the first point of this game. He's starting to really get after the forehand. The swing path has changed in the last couple of years. Came on the tour doing more of the lasso swing, the Nadal type forehand, where his left arm would hit the ball and quickly get off of it. And he didn't drive through it and flatten it out quite as much. And now he's using that forehand a little more effectively at times, like he just did, driving through the ball. Sometimes he does that. That's the swing that can get him in trouble when he gets up off the ball too quickly.
So what you're saying is his forehand has become more following the target a little bit more. Is that right?
Staying through the path of the ball towards the target, not getting too low to high, where you create a tremendous amount of topspin, but it's harder to put speed on the ball. Drive through it more. Buse just staying rock solid and feasting on some unforced errors, but just to finish that forehand, little mini discussion, it's finishing across your body where the racket wraps around your neck instead of going to the same side of your body as you were swinging and up and over your head. I want to be more on the longer cross follow through.
Move around, get your forehand. Come on. Good feet.
Voice of Ben Shelton in the background.
Light for service.
You can see the inbuilt discipline there is with this guy, can't you? We talk about, obviously, a lot of players that are born and bred on clay. They train in Spain. The old traditional way was just make a lot of balls, wasn't it? That's changed, obviously, but you can see how disciplined he is from the back in terms of the decision-making that he makes.
Yep, and he's playing with a lot of margin for error, understanding that with these quick courts, you don't have to play as close to the corners to get benefit. The ball just gets through the court quicker than a lot of the surfaces he'll play on more often, the clay. So you don't have to play as close to the line, take as much risk to get bang for your buck. And so far, his bucks are cashing in nicely, all even at 3 apiece.
Thank you. Ready for play.
And each player is it's just the 4th point that Shelton's lost when serving, and Buse has only lost 3. More than holding his own.
You mentioned Buse's record on the clay. It's been the surface largely that he's been able to build his ranking on. He's made 8 challenger semi-finals. 7 of those have come on clay. And of course, at challenger level, it's a much more even split, isn't it, of surface. We think of the tour level where it's about 75-25, hard and clay. Challenger level, it's about a 50-50 even split in terms of the events available on clay. So you can build your ranking a little bit more on that surface.
And ultimately, when you get your ranking up to about 130 or so in the world, that's where he's currently residing. And that'll move based on how he's doing in this tournament. Having qualified, he earns ranking points for that. He's now getting into position where he's going to have opportunities to be a little bit more open to playing hardcourt tournaments and indoor tournaments and things that maybe weren't on his to-do list as he was building his ranking earlier on this run-up. I love the way Buse is willing to come forward off of his forehand primarily. Finish at the net. That's important on all surfaces.
Shelton doing just that, as he has done on a number of occasions already. This is a good watch so far.
New
Shelton
balls,
up 4-3.
Points a couple of times in Delray and DC. Still looking for it, but off to a great start here. Raducanu, the same. Another quick
15 love.
winner earlier today out on Louis Armstrong Stadium. And things will quicken up here with new balls in play for Buse's serve.
They're playing with the extra duty ball here, the men, as is the case. Slightly different from the ladies' side. They play with the regular duty. What's the difference between those two balls?
The women's balls are much lighter. And they have long used them like that here. Nothing light about that forehand. Shelton unloads, and this is the first challenge to Buse's serve.
15-13.
Buse's second serve is very light on speed. Right now coming in at about 88 miles an hour on average. And so far Shelton's won 3 out of the 5 points when he's seen that second serve. So Buse is dominating when he makes first serves, but you'd be mindful to make one here and just start the point on his terms. Here's the real chance for Shelton, who's going to give himself even more time on this slow rolling second serve to unload on a ground stroke.
Come on. 15-14.
So a slight drop in level for the first time from the Peruvian qualifier. Has opened the door for this man. First break points of the set.
Ball. Game, Shelton.
And a couple of gifts. Well, Shelton
Shelton
gratefully
leads
accepts
5-3 per set.
as he grabs the opening break of this first round match.
Just lost his way with his first serve with the new tennis balls, maybe traveling a little quicker through the air. Fresh out of the can. And open that door for Shelton to put some pressure on the second serve. Shelton serving excellent so far. 75% first serves in play. I just said that just to check and see if these microphones have the same power that others do, that you can jinx something from up here in the booth. I believe we still have the power.
Yeah, that worked. I mean, to talk about quick conditions, I'm not sure I've ever remember a week on the tour where the unity among the speed of the court in Canada was every single player in Toronto that week just consistently talked about how hard it was to control the balls. The week that Shelton, of course, won in the end. Very unusual.
These days it is.
Yep.
Talked to some of the coaches that were there who used to play on tour. Excellent close by Shelton to get to 15 all, and so many of the coaches that I spoke to in Cincinnati on the heels of that week, Nick, were talking about how it was high time that these players experienced the conditions that they played in.
Sure.
Because it used to be so much quicker in the indoor tournaments in particular, but even some of the outdoor tournaments. game had been largely homogenized, but we're starting to see some extremes come back into it.
Yeah.
Nope. That was an extreme miss.
15-30.
Of course, it is a change as well, isn't it? Going from the grass court season and the Slazenger ball, which is traditionally heavy, going onto the North American swing when this ball is traditionally light. So there is that aspect to it as well. And now he's in a bit of trouble here.
15-14.
Both players struggling to hold serve with the new balls in play. Chance to break right back for the Peruvian. Nice combination of aggression with margin for error from Ben Shelton. Didn't go close to the lines, but used his power on the forehand to extract the forced error and save the first break point.
Just got a quick peek at Rodney Marshall there. Of course, he does the physical work with Ben. Not many keys out as well.
Oh my goodness. He almost put him in the sidewall with that serve. Had to be a consideration for Buse as he was trying to track down that sidewinding, slinging serve. And he is as deep as you can be to return serve on this court, which is among the biggest in the world size-wise.
Advantage Buse.
Oftentimes players will stand very deep in the deuce court when they face Ben, but because of the angle he can get on the serve, close that gap and be tighter in, but not Buse. He's still hyper deep, and that offers up that width, the short angle serve to Shelton. Let's see if he chooses to use it here after the let.
Deuce.
How about 132 down the tee? Will that work for you?
Well, it will when he's gone wide on the previous one, because you think about the, as you said, the width he's got to cover. Just remarkable. Only his third ace of the set.
Advantage Shelton.
.34 minutes on the clock. Shelton has arrived at set point.
Game.
Another profitable move in from the American left-hander, who had to work for the opening set when he secures those 6 games to 3. Shelton also with the potential this week to become the American #1, of course, as well, because Taylor Fritz might be in the actual rankings right now about 1,300 points ahead of him, but of course Fritz having made the final last year, so there's a nice little race within the race over the next fortnight here.
15 all.
Is that a thing over here? Was that a thing in your day to be the US #1?
It's definitely a thing. It's not as important in the big scheme of things. The overall ranking is what everyone's chasing, but there's certainly pride in being the #1 American. You hear Andy Roddick talk at length about that and how much that mattered to him.
30-15.
It's been largely Taylor Fritz's domain in recent years, but Shelton certainly has closed that gap.
$40-15.
Is that a big deal back in the UK? I would think it would be, to be the #1 Brit.
That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, obviously Andy held it for so long, right, that it was, let's be honest, we have had at times a dearth of players.
Wait, please.
Outside of Andy and Tim.
Nick, you can lie to me. It's okay. I work in television. I'm used to it.
I know. Yeah, I guess it probably is. Yeah. Again, it is everywhere, to be honest.
40-13.
Absolutely.
Buse must be very proud of what he's doing for Peruvian tennis.
Game Buse.
Yeah, not been outmatched here so
First
far.
game, second set.
How much of a jump is it to become a top 100 player? From your perspective, was he in his shoes? Is that a big hurdle to overcome?
I think it's a big opportunity for someone as young as Ignacio Buse, just 21 years young, and on a steady trajectory moving up. That's a good sign for him. He's going to continue, you would think, to get a little bit stronger physically, and the experience levels are going to grow. And it just seems like it'll be a matter of time for him to crack the top 100. Can he start to feel more and more comfortable, be more successful across all surfaces? That will be something that will determine his fate ultimately, because one surface players are very difficult to go high these days.
Yeah, I'm often asked, actually, how often do players break the top 100 in a season?
Love.
Last year, there were 20 players on the tour that broke the top 100 for the first time. That's about par for the course if you look back at the last few years. There was one year, I think, in 22, there were 26, but it's... That's about your number. Whether they stay there or not's another thing.
Love 30.
This might be a chance for Buse not to stay on serve, as he's been given a love 30 opportunity. Shelton missing another drop shot, hasn't quite found his range on that. Certainly understand the temptation to use the drop shot given the depth that Buse is returning serve from. He's 5 meters back when he's returning first serves and almost 6 meters on second.
Not easy to make a pass from back there either, is it, Jim? Yeah, Shelton 12 of 13 points won when he's come forwards.
That's the danger when you return the second serve from that deep, is if
30 all.
Shelton gets the second serve into your backhand, most two-handed backhands simply don't have the ability to create a tremendous amount of dip on the ball with topspin. So Shelton, look how far in he is, halfway through the service line, between the service line and the net to make contact there. And that was a flat backhand. That would be one of the faster attempts.
And I guess you've also got the factor, Jim, that at 97 miles an hour, by the time the ball actually gets to him, it's lost a lot of its pace.
That's right. He won't venture in on the second serve up the middle
30
in the deuce court as
14.
often, and misses that forehand. And Buse gets his 4th breakpoint chance of the match, 2nd consecutive game, and he'll have one against Shelton serve.
Deuce.
It's been a good season from him, break points saved, hasn't it? He's been clutch on the big points. Well, break points saved and break points converted. He's been up with the best this year.
Advantage Shelton. Deuce.
Big advantage when the serve is the deciding factor in these points, but they're pretty evenly matched so far in these baseline exchanges. Not that Buse is hitting winners, he's not, just 2 for the match, but his patience and his defense causing Shelton to miss at times.
Advantage Shelton.
I was listening to a great interview with Mark Kovacs the other day, who of course does a lot of great work in the field of biomechanics, particularly on serve. He works in all sports, and he was talking about Shelton's serve.
Game
And effectively
Shelton.
saying just how great an athlete you have to be to deliver the serve the way he does. The knee bend being one element to it, but the positions he
One
gets
game
into, and
more,
it's stuff that's way
second
above my pay grade, but the sort of biomechanics of the way he delivers the serve. Mark was saying it's so hard for you to be able to do it the way he does, which speaks to how great an athlete he is.
Well, we're not going to see it just yet, but maybe we'll remember to mention it in his next service game. Just watch how much ground force he uses with that deep knee bend, how high he gets to make contact. He really jumps up like he's dunking a basketball to get his serve, and serves like a taller man. He struggles to catch up to that one. There's no one on tour that can catch him as far as how much he adds to his height when he serves. He jumps out of the building to go up and go get that serve, and it has the effect of making him serve like someone much taller.
Yep.
And that's a big advantage in tennis. One of the ways I like to describe it, Nick, it's like Shelton has as big a power as anyone in men's tennis, right? On that first serve, he's the equivalent, the golf equivalent of a long drive specialist. Guys who can hit the ball further than anyone. But the long drive specialists aren't the best players in the PGA Tour. They're like their own species.
Yep.
The reason for that is that they don't have the accuracy. So Shelton has great accuracy with his serve and power. It'd be like if the guys who hit the ball the furthest in golf got to play with more fairway width than anyone else.
Sure.
Let's for service.
It's an unfair advantage that you're, like in anything in sports, some people are more advantaged. Basketball, the taller you are, the easier, more likely you are to be an NBA player.
Yeah. Genetics.
Yeah. If you've got a big serve and you use it as well as Ben Shelton does, no mystery, that 6 is next to his name. And there are many players in his height level that are great players in this tour that don't use their height the way that he does on his serve.
Yeah. Just couldn't defend the net for long enough. He looked a little exposed, didn't he?
15-30.
Shelton punished him.
I think the expression I have heard you use countless times, beaten for pace.
Yeah. I can only apologise, Jim.
No, it's good. I love it. challenge here for Buse with the second serve at 15-30. Shelton standing deep to try and put a little extra on his return of serve.
Nice recognition there, wasn't it? A bit of width on the approach as well.
30-all.
It was a great sneak attack. Not sure Shelton knew he was coming in. He didn't hit a passing shot there. He was just trying to rally deep, and Ignacio with the great cutoff in the air.
$40-30.
That's
Game
outstanding.
set.
Defies a little bit of pressure as the
leads
qualifier
2-1
to keep himself ahead in the
set.
second. Going to be a brand new performance center as well. And part of that, you feel, is because teams are becoming so big nowadays, aren't they? Just look at Ben's corner here. He's got about 15 people up there.
There's a real need for more space for the players and the groups that accompany them. There's a good look at Shelton's jack-in-the-box type service motion.
30-love.
But yeah, when players are traveling with as many people as they are, they need space for everyone to assemble pre-match, and players need more areas for working out these days. There's a look at his team. You got people from the USTA like Kent Kinnear in the second row with the Adidas shirt on. Friends and family, of course.
Yeah, he's got a couple of representatives from, I'm sure, On up there as well, his clothing brand, Racket brand. Even Buse, who you can see is ranked outside the top 130, he's got a fair few people in there as well.
Yep.
So
it's going to be awesome when it's all said and done here. Players and fans alike.
there are going to be some new indoor and outdoor warm-up areas, which of course are becoming ever growing part of this sport. Players taking care of their bodies, perhaps like at no time ever in this sport. Trying to anyway.
Game Shelton. 2 games all, second set.
You can hear Brian weigh in.
Second, I think you should be up more. Second, I think you should be up more, especially in the deuce. Take it early, take away time. And then use the closed stance a little bit more. Come on.
Interesting. All right, so just interpreting that, if that doesn't sound familiar to you, second serve, he wants him to stand closer to the baseline on the return of serve than he has been, and close the stance up a little bit. Maybe he's a little bit too open to the forehand. Maybe close it so he's more prepared to hit a backhand. So let's see where he stands here on the second. Should be right tight to the baseline there.
That had the desired effect, didn't it?
Sure did. Good coaching.
Love 15.
The last piece of advice was take time away from him, and he sure did that with that return. But closing the stance up is an interesting little, really inside tennis request from Dad, because you see he's kind of got his stance set to hit a forehand as he hits this return.
And it's interesting you bring that up, because I know for a fact that James Trotman, working with Jack Draper, was very keen this year to get Jack to close his stance a little bit more. He felt when they were practicing, Jack was quite open off both sides, and he said if you watch Sinner play, you watch Jannik play, he's more closed stance. He wanted Jack to practice more, trying to close his stance a little bit this season. Which does what, in effect, Jim?
Well, so ideally you have your feet just square to where the ball is coming from, so you can adjust to the angle the ball's coming in to turn to hit a backhand or a forehand. Footwork matters. And if your feet are hedging more towards hitting a backhand or hitting more towards a forehand, you're vulnerable on the side that's not open to that shot. So, like, it was interesting at the French Open at Roland Garros, Sinner had a slightly different starting position. It was a closed stance initially, but then once he did his split step, he was squared up again. And that just, it's all about reaction time, isn't it? Because you have less than a second when the big first serves come in your way.
Yep.
From when that ball leaves their racket and touches yours.
15-14.
How do you make more returns, make more effective returns? You got to figure that out, but it helps when you get a double fault. And here come 2 breakpoint chances for the American.
One break was enough in the first. Shelton will hope it's the case in the second as well. He finds himself up a set in 3-2.
Shelton leads 3 games to 2 seconds.
Match of the week, Ben Shelton up a set and a break. You've listened intently, as Jim said, to Brian's coaching over the last couple of years in particular, and the advice that he's been dishing out. How much has Brian learned from his college days? How much of a benefit was that, Jim? Obviously, he knows his son better than anyone else, so there's that element. But Brian presumably learned a lot, coaching both on the male and female side.
Yeah, Brian started off as the women's coach at Georgia Tech, where he played college tennis himself, and very successful there. Was eventually brought over to the men's side at the University of Florida. More success there. And if you're not familiar with how U.S. college tennis works, in-game coaching is allowed, and there are multiple coaches supervising multiple courts in competition, and it's a very active, hectic environment. And Brian is incredibly well versed at what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. And I think his learning curve has been very minimal compared to most coaches out here in learning how to communicate with their players in the short snippets of time they're given to do so.
Yep.
Since coaching has become legal.
Brian's spoken a lot as well about the early days with his family, and in particular Ben, when he was growing up as a kid. They would play tournaments in South Florida. They would on the drive home, and conversations on the way home would be like, how do you think we can get better? How do we think we can improve? There was no shouting, there was no screaming. It was just conversations they would try to drip into their children. Brian and his wife, by their own admission, are fairly introverted as opposed to their son, who's the direct opposite. And of course, as we know, Ben didn't play a whole lot of tennis competitively, certainly outside of Florida, for a long time.
Buse.
Good news, if you live in Florida, a lot of the best junior players live there as well. They come from all over the world to all the different academies in Florida. So the amount of competition available on any given weekend for junior tennis is immense. There's really no need to travel too far. That's well done. I love the way that Ben put it initially. As his dad said, you don't need to go overseas to lose. You can do that here, and you learn the most when you're losing. So until you're beating everybody here, there's no need to travel.
Yeah.
His first trip with a passport would be to the Australian Open a few years back, and that tended to go pretty well for him. Pretty nice start on his first road trip.
Yeah, didn't it just?
Game, Shelton.
Yeah, there's certainly more than one way up a mountain, isn't there?
Shelton
He's proved
leads
just
4
that.
games to 2, second set.
Balls in a row in the court.
I think one of the advantages, and there are several, of having a parent who played at a high level in sport, doesn't necessarily have to be the sport your child's playing, and it's just the level of patience and acceptance and understanding of how difficult it's going to be is built in. How about that slide from Shelton, even if the ball was out? He left a trail on the court with both of his shoes screeching to a halt.
Love 30.
Things beginning to get distinctly uncomfortable right now for this young qualifier.
$15 out of the last 20 points going Shelton's way.
Gladys Knight watching on.
$15-30.
American singing icon loves her tennis here annually.
$30.
There's that chip return that we talked about, Jim. Getting him in the point.
I think he's been a little betwixt and between what to do, because the first serve average speed is among the lower levels of speed he'll see this season so far from Buse, but he's found a way to stand a little closer and get some value in that deuce court. Here comes another break chance for Ben Shelton. Did he pull it off? Can you believe that?
Deuce.
What in the world was he doing there, Nick, coming in on that shot?
Well, he knew, obviously, because he's pulled this off. This is incredible. From a long way behind the service line as well. Nonchalantly done.
Advantage, Buse.
No, we'll see how meaningful that breakpoint save was, but that was the shot of the day so far at a moment of a real impact.
Has struggled, as Jim said, all day really behind his second delivery.
Deuce.
A bit of guidance to try and get up the court. Take it a bit earlier has paid dividends for him.
Average second serve speed in the match has been around 88 miles an hour for Buse. That's about 10 miles an hour lighter than tour average. So that's a vulnerability he'll want to try and shore up as his career moves on.
Not this time.
Advantage Shelton.
Shelton with a pass of some quality.
Fault. Deuce.
Even lighter than average, 83 miles an hour. Shelton had a green light to go down the line there and just put a little too much throttle on it.
Advantage
A
Shelton.
long look up, well, a brief look up into the sun after missing that second serve. It has now moved across closer to where the right-handers really struggle. So perhaps having some impact with his ball toss there. It's another break chance for Shelton. Third of this game.
Use.
Shelton has added the block return on his forehand. The backhand side, though, not quite as comfortable with it, which is usually the easier side to do it on because you hit slice backhands with the same type of shot.
Drop shot put him in a bit of
Advantage
trouble.
Buse.
Wasn't a great one, and he couldn't turn the point around as a consequence.
Light second service. Use.
just showed him enough of it. And Shelton made him pay the price.
Advantage, Shelton.
Shelton at 6'4", and he's not light either. A lot of muscle mass has really improved his movement and his ability to deliver. He can't deliver on another break point. Goes awry with that overhit forehand. Yeah, Buse is really playing hurry-up offense in between points here, taking almost no time to get right back to the line and serve.
Only the second time Buse's played a top 20 player in his career. Previous occasion he got a win over Nicholas Jarry in Davis Cup a couple of years ago. And it was actually that win that instigated his decision to go pro.
Advantage.
Beat Jarry in Davis Cup. And a big one. Those South American jewels are pretty rough down there, aren't they? They're pretty volatile.
Big time.
And having beaten Jarry at the start of last season, he thought, you know what? Yeah, I've got what it takes. That should be enough to secure a 2-set lead for Ben Shelton here on Ash. He's off to a solid start.
Please. Shelton leads 5 games to 2 second set, and by 1 set to love.
Just
time.
Good chance this man makes Duran now as well. When you look at the points tally of where he's at, and you look at what's being needed as well. We talk about Duran, of course, top 8 end of the year. It's a big one. Shelton 4th in the race. He's got 3,500 points, and that over the last 2 seasons has been pretty much good enough. If you look at the number of points needed to qualify for the Tour finals, I think the 8th ranked player last year had 3,500. So he's already past that number. So you'd think, Jim, he's close to a lock for his first show in Turin.
And that's a big deal. To be in the top 8 at the end of the season, that is a remarkable achievement. And he has so many tournaments in front of him that he'll enjoy as well. Some more quick tournaments indoors, Shanghai Masters, Paris Masters.
Thank you. Ready for play.
Plenty of opportunity to add to his tally, and a chance now to take a 2 sets to love lead.
Ball.
Maybe the best forehand of the match from the Peruvian. Laces this running winner.
Yeah, looked like it got away from him, but... Oh.
Titino.
If he comes up, make him hit a forehand.
Brian Shelton suggesting that if Buse is up on top of the baseline and they're rallying, that his forehand's more vulnerable than the backhand. Wants Ben to go there. That makes sense to you?
30-15.
I guess in terms of just rushing him a bit more off that side.
Usually players are more stable with two hands on the racket to shorten the swing and handle speed of shot coming. That's why more returns are made usually on the backhands and forehands against first serves. It's a more elaborate swing that takes more time to unwind on the forehand.
Oh. 30-all.
Didn't hold back there. 138 mile an hour second serve. 132, sorry. Second serve that had all sorts of work to it. So tough to handle.
Yeah, come on.
And Shelton on the brink of a 2-set lead. At an event he described as the biggest of his season. He's going along well in his opening test. Shelton up 2 sets to love here on Ash. He was 1962, the third player after Laver and Emerson Jim was Martin Mulligan.
Marty Mulligan.
Yeah,
that.
Made 1962 Wimbledon. Of course, this year, as I said, we've had 3 players only make major finals on the men's side, Zverev being the third. Certainly not much of a history in recent years, is there, of players outside the top 5 winning majors? Simple as that.
Nope. Last man to win a major not named Sinner or Alcaraz. It happened here 2 years ago. Novak winning his 3rd major of the season, just 1 match short, in fact, of the Grand Slam that season. Lost in the finals to Alcaraz at Wimbledon. Carlos's first title there.
Didn't miss by much.
First game.
Just showcasing how great an athlete he is.
I saw you taking a big gulp of air before he went for the tweener, because I know something righteous was coming out of your mouth. Excitement was coming. If he nailed this laser, it didn't miss by much, did it?
I mean, he's gone a long way as well, hasn't he, to get there in the first place. He's one of a kind, undoubtedly athletically.
I'll bet that shot was traveling somewhere in the high 70s, maybe low 80s on the speed gun. That was a big rip at it, but ultimately Buse gets the outcome he wanted.
It's been the European dominance of majors as well that has been so suffocating, really, from that perspective. Of course, we had the GOATs in there for a couple of decades, but not been too many outside of Europe that have got their hands on one.
Got to see one of them on the court here on Thursday night when they had some of the legends of the U.S. Open, past champions, on Martín del Potro of Argentina.
Who could have changed the landscape, potentially, Jim, couldn't he, of that era?
He was going to be a mighty problem for everybody, but his biggest problem was his health, sadly. Career cut too short.
Yeah, 10 wins he had against world number ones, Del Potro. That's the most of any player that had not got to world number one in the history of the game. That's how good he was.
Ball.
I'm going to use my search engine and answer a question that I was going to ask you because you've done too much. But I'm wondering how many wins against world number ones Sasha Zverev has had. Bet you it's quite a few.
15-30.
Just a second double. Buse yet to break, despite the fact he's had a few looks. Oh, he's had another one there.
30-all.
Just didn't quite need to be as good as that. Shelton wasn't covering the line.
Let for service.
Got the answer?
7 is what I'm gleaning. 7 wins against world number ones for Zverev and counting.
$30-40.
And this time Buse using the chip return to good effect. Shelton backing off, and for the 5th time here, he's facing a break point.
Ball.
And close for this return, is he? Didn't work out. That was the call that his dad had given him. If he's in close, target the forehand, and he got the chip return with Buse on top of the baseline for that return instead of 15-20 feet back. Good coaching, good execution. Mini crisis averted.
Advantage Shelton.
You just look at the movement off the court. That's the key to it there, isn't it? Buse's there, but it's just constantly traveling away from him.
Game Shelton. One game all, third set.
August Holmgren, the young Scandinavian player who played at San Diego, was interviewed last week about playing Ben in college, and he talked about, he played Ben twice in college, and he said, I just couldn't deal with his serve. I had no way of getting hold of Ben's serve when they played at college, even in 3 or 4 years ago when he was obviously on his way up. Not the only one to have suffered that fate.
15 low.
It's worth remembering, Ben didn't start at number 1 in the lineup. First couple of years he was around 6 or 5 in the lineup, wasn't he, Jim? He wasn't the standout of Florida.
But he was clutch for them when they won the national title as a team. He was the in the deciding match and won it for the Florida Gators. It's a lot of pressure.
That's a lot of good feel. Good volley.
30-15.
What's going on here?
Maybe just concerned about moisture on the court, potentially slipping if he ventured over there again to try and track down a ball.
Thanks. Thank you.
Just went down. A little bit of his perspiration finding the surface.
Ball.
Shot making from Shelton there. By the way, I just got confirmation from our friends at Hawkeye that the tweener attempt from Shelton, the speed of that shot, a mere 99 miles an hour. That's dangerous to try and hit a shot like that at that speed.
I mean, that's incredible. Facing the wrong way.
There's a lot of self-harm potentially in line there.
Comes with a don't try at home warning, that one. It's impressively done.
For the most part, the ventures forward have come at the right time for Buse. Really nice transition here. Sees he's going to get something high in the air to hit, so takes it early, takes court position, and finishes with a flourish. This swinging backhand volley, not often seen in the wild. That was beautiful.
Ball.
Deuce.
He's still having a little bit of difficulty serving from that side of the court with his ball toss being directly into the sun. Fourth double, and they've come at some inopportune times, including the original break of serve in the opening set.
Ball.
And here comes a challenge again for Buse, an opportunity for Shelton.
Advantage, Shelton.
Saved a break point in his prior service game. Has a chance to get one here.
Jordan Clarkson, I believe. That's for the Knicks.
Game, Shelton.
A break already in this third set. Shelton well on his way.
Shelton leads 2 games to
the
1
second round.
third set, and by 2 sets allowed.
Good paycheck for his efforts this week, though. Ignacio
Thank
Buse.
you, ladies and gentlemen.
Whatever happens from him in
Players
his
are now
career
ready for
prize
play.
money is actually just under $300,000 career prize money. For making the first round here by qualifying, he's going to take home $110,000. That's a bit of investment he can put back into his tennis.
Love 15.
That's what's been so great about the overall success of tennis for men and women in recent years, is just how much players at the lower ranking levels, around 100 in the world, can make just by getting into these big tournaments. It fully funds them for the year if they can just get into the main draw of the majors. If you're not a spendthrift, you're going to be good. You're in the black.
Yeah.
Kind of rough numbers. If you're in the main draw of all 4 majors and you're in the main draw of the Masters 1000s, you'll also get into a bunch of 500 level and 250s. So if you're sort of 75 in the world, your base level of pay, if you're healthy and you play all the tournaments you're supposed to, if you don't win a match, you're making $750,000 US.
Yep.
And that's still light compared to a lot of the other sports leagues around the world that take care of all of your expenses, because tennis players have to fund their travel expenses and pay for their coaches. Yes, they get free hotels and a lot of free meals at tournaments, but not free airfare.
Yeah, $1,000 stipend, isn't it? The USTA pay this year for players. 2 hotel rooms, I believe, as well, part of the deal.
But we've come a long way in taking care of the players that form the bulk of the circuit. Top players for prize money, that's just a portion of their income. But for players like Buse, I'm sure he'll have, because he's a top player in Peru, some support at home.
Yep.
Some financial sponsors and things of that nature, but prize money is going to be the bulk of his earnings, you would think. So it's huge for him to make the main draw here, just give his ranking a boost and give his bank account one too.
Love 15.
Aside from the prize money, Jim, what will he have learnt, do you think, developmentally from this week in the big picture for his own tennis?
Well, look, one thing that is improved a lot in Ben Shelton's game is his return of serve and how many he's making, as you've pointed out earlier.
Love 30.
But Ben Shelton's still not one of the great returners in men's tennis. He doesn't need to be, because his serve is so overwhelmingly good. But the second serve of Buse needs to get a little thicker. He's being abused on his second serve, winning just 31% of those points. You got to get closer to 50%. You need more speed behind that shot. He's going to need more speed on all of his shots, I think, which he can gain 2 ways: add muscle or tweak your equipment. But he needs to be more offensive.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I hear you, yeah. And I guess at challenger level, no disrespect to that level, because we know it's an exceptionally high standard, but it's not playing a world number 6, is it?
Yep.
Week in, week out. So he's not played these sorts of players. It's not been in his orbit so far. A bit of a cliche, but the fact is, when you do play the better players, you learn about your own game, surely.
Yep.
Because they will be exposed. This match is slipping away from him drastically here.
Men's tennis, so much of it is about the shot after your serve. Not everyone can throw down a a dozen aces a match. Shelton certainly can if he needs to. But what do you do with a shot behind your serve?
Ball.
Well, the thickness of your serve will dictate your opportunities, and the second serve just doesn't have enough speed for him to stay in control, Buse. That was almost 90 miles an hour. It had good location, and Shelton didn't get much on his return, but that's still not going to get it done against most, is it? So here's the good news. Buse has a lot that he can improve, and he's already really good. Closing in on top 100 in the world.
Ball.
Advantage, Buse. Game, Buse.
Oh, the opportunity was there to secure a double break. Shelton couldn't quite jump on it. He
Shelton
remains,
leads
though, up
3
2
games
sets
to
and a
2,
break.
Third set, and by 2 sets alone.
In and around that number.
Last year, Shelton opened up against
15 love.
former U.S. Open champion, the 2020 winner, Dominic Thiem. Came out in straight sets, looking to do the same here with the qualifier, Ignacio Buse.
Ball.
And it is a healthy crowd here for opening day. A little bit more people in the stands than we've seen historically on the Monday start.
Love.
Yeah, Wimbledon, the only major as it stands now. They begin on the Monday. Whether that changes or not, we'll see.
Ball.
They say that the grass can only take so much, but the logic doesn't hold because the matches are exactly the same whether you start on Sunday or Monday. I haven't told Tim Hinman that yet, but I look forward to it. Since he seems to have so much sway and is so adamant that that'll never happen there because the grass simply can't take it. Tim.
30-15.
Logic.
It's interesting when we mentioned the enhancements here because literally a week after Wimbledon finished, the builders were in there as well. They were straight back on site. The cranes were all up around the club. The Millennium building at Wimbledon being expanded again. All these majors continue to look to improve.
Well, there are a lot of eyebrows raised as Shelton looks to hold easily here with the unveiling of the new facility in Cincinnati a couple of weeks ago. Spectacular from Shelton. And the word from all the players was that the facilities for both players and the fans were as spectacular as any in the world. I think there will be a new winner this year, Nick, of the favorite tournament on the ATP and WTA circuit for the players. I think Indian Wells' reign will be coming to an end for now, and there will be, I think, a reaction from a lot of the Masters 1000s to try and keep up with the new standard that Cincinnati has set by doubling their size and the player facilities being magnificent.
And in particular, Jim, what do you mean by that? What player facilities? Give us examples.
Well, it's a 50,000 square foot new building was built in 11 months from the end of last year's tournament to before this year's. As that misses, new dining facilities, new lounge facilities, new warm-up facilities for the players to do their warm-ups and their cool-downs, indoor outness fitness centers, private rooms to go to a quiet zone. Everything feeling like a 5-star hotel as well.
Well, that's some five-star tennis right there on the Peruvian.
30 love.
Ball.
Love.
Yeah, Shelton just running out of gas instantly, didn't he, in the end there? Beaten by Zverev. After a very, very good summer.
Game set.
Now look up towards his corner.
Shelton leads 4 games to 3.
Shelton a couple of games away from making progress here in New York.
Time.
Lost to Francis Tiafoe in the 3rd round here last year to Ben Shelton in 5 sets. One of the matches of the tournament, that was. Francis getting a bit of revenge as well, I think it's fair to say.
As we see Shelton put a new shirt on, see his lower back, hoping that Francis Tiafoe's back has recovered. Cincinnati, he was struggling in that area of his body. Big tournament for all these Americans. Shelton looking to get to the 2nd round here in a few minutes.
Ball.
Needs a couple more holds to serve or a hold and a break to get it done.
Yeah, we'll play a Spaniard. We know that in the 2nd round. Who it is remains to be seen. It'll either be Carreño Busta or Pablo Lamas Ruiz, the qualifier.
Out.
30 love.
Talon Griekspoor is the man, the first seed, if it goes according to plan, that he would face. Griekspoor's dangerous, we know that.
Out.
30-15.
Shelton's hit a first serve as hard as 138 miles an hour, but he'll also throw in the 108s like he just did to just keep you guessing as a returner. Just missed. Nice idea from the Peruvian. Followed in a quality drop shot.
40-15.
Shelton's wingspan A little too much for him to handle.
The first one here.
Ball.
Go!
Game, Shelton. New balls, please.
It's a rather wild finish to that
Shelton
game.
leads 5 games to 3. Third set.
Shelton on the doorstep of an opening win.
Out.
15 love.
Good reps there. Good reps there. Good job. Good quality.
Ball.
Fifteen-all. Light for service.
First set percentage has been dropping in this third set for the Peruvian. 9 of 26. Wasn't that a well-measured approach?
He's undersized and he's underpowered against Shelton, and if you listen to the sound of their shots, you can hear that Buse strings his racket tighter, which would give him more control but less power than the much more powerful American player whose racket has a lower sound on the musical scale. The higher the sound, the higher the ping, the tighter the string.
Yeah, there's more arsenal, undoubtedly, isn't there? The Americans' game.
Buse might try a little more loose setup to get a little bit more on his shots, but he's gotten a lot out of this U.S. Open by qualifying, playing in his first major, but it looks like it's coming to an end here at the hands of Ben Shelton.
It's been a good week, undoubtedly, but we are pretty much bang on the 2-hour mark as Shelton finds his way to match point.
Ball.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Ready for play. Use.
couple of free points back to back.
Advantage Buse.
Not all has been occurring all that frequently.
Oh, vapor trail on that one.
I mean, it didn't look like he was going to get there, did it, initially?
A lot of times you'll hear people mention, oh, he put that one came back with interest. Well, that 96-mile-an-hour serve, that time it actually did. That was faster.
That is a significant angle, and he doesn't always create with his backhand side.
Advantage Shelton.
Let's go.
Taking a little bit of additional time as he looks to get over the line.
Thank you.
Can't believe he missed it. And he didn't miss it by an inch or two, did he? That one was well off target. And Buse hangs in there.
Senses desperation to try and get this done here, can't you? Finish in style.
Advantage Buse. Game Buse.
A determination to extend his stay on Arthur Ashe. Incredible. Such good control early in the rally before
15 love.
he unloaded.
Five times Ignacio Buse has gotten to break point against the Shelton serve, but yet to convert. And he's running out of runway here. Shelton, 2 points needed to secure the win. That's not going to get it done, though.
30-15.
Couldn't quite make up the ground
40.
as he scurried across to pick up that return. And Shelton back where he was a few minutes ago.
He's
played well, hasn't he?
He's tenacious, you say.
He's acquitted himself well. He hasn't been overawed. Hopefully he'll take a lot from the last 7 or 8 days. 5th chance for Shelton to finish the job.
Game, set match, Shelton.
An opening win
3-6
on the biggest stage of them all for Ben Shelton. A shake of the head, maybe not perfect today, but good enough. The American prevails. 2 hours and 7 minutes required. He's through in straight sets.
That's one, he says. He'll have 6 more wins on his mind. Shelton's been to the semis on a couple of occasions at majors, looking for his first final, gets the first step here.